In his two-decade career at the top echelon of hockey, this guy is of two minds. A lot of people really enjoy him, consider him one of the better defensive defensemen of his era, and more people like me, they felt that too much reliance was put on this guy, especially for Team Canada 72. I think he took the spot of a more deserving defenseman on the roster, but that's just me. A Montreal Canadian fan is not going to brag a Toronto Maple Leaf player, but for the many Maple Leaf fans out there, this guy is more than adequate, and the record is there. Now today we're going to be talking about the interesting case of Rod Seiling, one of the first 6-foot defensemen to play, I think, for Team Canada at the Olympics, because Team Canada defensemen were kind of that 5'10" size, 160, 70 pounds, but he's one of the bigger defensemen, which allowed him to again play at the Olympics for Team Canada and then for Team Canada 72. Now, he got his major start with the St. Michael's program, starting with the Buzzers of the Metropolitan Junior Hockey League. Then played with the incomparable St. Mike's Majors in 61 in the regular season and playoffs. Now with St. Mike's in 62, he scored 50 points, again as a defenseman, in 31 games, 24 goals, and also played in the Memorial Cup playoffs. Now in 63, he played with the Neil McNeil Maroons as a Toronto Maple Leaf signee from 62, but only played one game with the Maple Leafs in that early era in 1963 when he had his first pro point. He played with the Sudbury Wolves of the EPHL in 63, Rochester Americans as well, and then the Neil McNeil Maroons in their Memorial Cup playoffs. 64, he played with the Marlies and the Rochester Americans. The Marlies of the OHA had 67 points in 48 1 games. Now in 64, he also got called up to the Rangers for 2 games and the Rochester Americans for 2 games. Then back to the Marlies for the Memorial Cup playoffs, where he had 7 goals and 7 assists for 14 points in 10 games. Now, in his busy 1964 campaign, where he also played all over the place, played for Team Canada at the Olympics. So that year, he played with the Marlies twice, Rochester, New York, and Team Canada. And of course, that was a rough year for Team Canada. He should have won bronze, but got 4th place. He was eventually traded to the New York Rangers, where he would remain for the team for the next decade, and of course helped them to the Stanley Cup Finals in 1972. Now, between 68 and 75, before being picked up by the Capitals and then Washington then Toronto for his second go-around with the Buds, with the Rangers over between 1968 and again 1974, put up some solid offensive numbers: 30, 16, 21, 26, 27, 41, 42, and 30 points. And again, the playoff run in 72 and the semifinal run in 74. But with expansion, he found himself from New York to Washington and Toronto in 75, back with the big team, 17 points in 60 games, including 5 goals. 77, 78, 79, he found himself with St. Louis, and then on to Atlanta in the 79 campaign to end his career with 39 games and 5 assists. NHL totals: 979 games, 62 goals, 269 assists for 331 points, 77 playoff games, 4 goals, 8 assists for 12 points. And best playoff campaign, of course, for him was the 72 season, where he had 5 points in 16 games in the Rangers Cup run. Now, Team Canada at the Olympics, 6 points in 7 games in 64. 72, he played 3 games with Team Canada in the Summit Series against Russia. He was also very active off the ice in many endeavors. In 2006, he was appointed chair of the Ontario Racing Commission, where he served for 7 years. And of course, that famous book we've been quoting for, 100 Ranger Greats, he ranked Seiling as number 1 all-time, 41 all-time, of the 901 New York Rangers who played during the team's first 82 seasons. Now, to call him the quarterback of the Rangers defense would be incorrect. Brad Park, to me, was the quarterback. Rod was a all-purpose player, played defense shorthand, offense, power play. But like I said, these totals always get 5 goals, get about 20 to 25 assists, 30 assists, and marginal amount of penalties. Dependable. But I would never call him an all-star because I had trouble with his playing style because, you think he was going to open out and he'd be going a run for a number of games, putting up points, and I'll disappear for a while. But he was a weakness on the ice for Team Canada against the Russians. The Russians took advantage of his, what he called his stay-at-home style, and just like Goldsworthy and Don Orey. The only comparable I can say is with Don Orey and Rod Seiling. But see, they got Rod there for his experience. You got to have Sinden looked at him because of the '64 Olympics as maybe a calming influence, and but every time I saw Rod Seiling on the ice against the Russians, he said, "Here's something bad's going to happen," and it did. So, Rod Seiling, 2 minds. He got his fans, but for me, I'm thinking Jacques Leperrier turned you down, and that's what you put in his place. Rod Seiling and Don Orey, no comment. Anyway, have a good day. And he did pick J.C. Tremblay, another one. Thanks.